From KDFW, this is a Fox 4 News Alert.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Rabb in the Fox 4 Newsroom, joined by Chip Wagner, and we are in the middle of an intense and dramatic high-speed chase. This all started in Fort Worth 30 minutes ago. A woman in this vehicle, this blue Hyundai, running from the police after trying to pass a bad check at the Wells Fargo in the 500 block of Carroll Street in Fort Worth. Chip, this thing has traveled from Tarrant County to Dallas County.
And in the middle of making that transition along I-30 in the Arlington area, the suspect ended up getting out of the main lanes of I-30, made some nifty maneuvers through some of the side streets, going as far north as Green Oaks before then working their way back over to the Cooper area, and then ultimately coming back south on Cooper, briefly going through a parking lot of a strip mall, and then back onto the service road briefly in the wrong direction before then finally getting back on the main lanes. We rejoin this now, and you can see how fast this driver's going, in excess of 90 miles an hour, and you can see the individual is now driving quite erratically, trying to weave through the traffic jam that is up ahead, because these roadways are really clogged up here, Sean, as one approaches Fort Worth Avenue, which they've just passed, and now they are continuing over towards Sylvan and Beckley. And
let me just interject. As you can see, they are hugging the retaining wall, and this has been their style throughout, to get around pockets or clusters of traffic. Yes. If the woman is driving, she's daring in her attempts to elude police.
Right now, where they are, Sean, is not in the main lanes of traffic anymore. That individual has just jumped into the service road area, yes, going at an unbelievably quick rate of speed. They're in an area where there could be pedestrians present as they approach Beckley, but you could just see right there live that they did not take Beckley, but instead are on one of the new bridges that goes up towards Riverfront, and the Riverfront exit is up ahead. This is also an area that's still an active construction zone, and you can see right now, at least, they're the only vehicle that is in view. We can tell you that there are at least 4 squad cars behind this individual that have been giving chase. There haven't been any attempts that I've seen, Sean, of any spike strips being deployed by anyone trying to get in front of them.
So no one has gotten in front of her or whoever's driving. There are 3 Fort Worth squad cars, I believe, in the Fort Worth helicopter in this. Arlington did not take part in this chase at all, and now on side streets in Dallas.
So you're on Riverfront here, Sean. We're looking at the traffic flow on Riverfront, going through all the construction in this area.
She's going to pass the Frank Crowley Courthouse and the Luce Area Jail here in a minute. And
again, the next available highway for this individual to get to, if they could even get to it, is going to be I-35E. Though, again, now this becomes even more dangerous, Sean, as they continue down these side streets where you see all the congestion, just narrowly missing some vehicles there going through that signal light. And the way this person's been driving, Sean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go right through a signal light without even stopping if the light's red for them.
Well, and we've seen them do that in Fort Worth and Arlington, just narrowly miss some vehicles. They're still moving. Right there is Katy Street, a Riverfront and Katy's. They just shot through there. Fuel City should be on your right up here. They're moving towards, and they appear to be slowing down now. This is the slowest they've been. Perhaps not sure where they're going at this point, maybe not familiar with Dallas, busting a U-turn there and heading back now.
Wow, she's going in circles, and this could end here real fast.
There it is. All right, Steve Eager, Heather Hayes are joining us now. The officers break the windows. Steve?
Yeah, well, we're watching with you. This thing's ending right now, so let's just see what happens. They're breaking out that driver's side window.
So that's Riverfront, real close to the intersection of Cadiz, where this is going to come to, where it's obviously come to an end.
They're going to probably pull her out of there right now, face first, and she's on the ground.
And they're going to look inside. Well, they don't seem to be concerned about anybody else in the vehicle, so she's alone.
So that's it.
Yeah, they may know that. They may have had good eyes on her and know she's the only one in that vehicle.
And again, as Sean mentioned, this is an individual who's running, tried to cash a bad check apparently, and the chase, again, lasting over 35 minutes, finally coming to an end. You see all the Fort Worth police officers doing their thing, getting that person into custody. This has come to a rather peaceful conclusion. And from my perspective, Sean, I'm glad that it's come to a peaceful conclusion, because there were several close calls as that driver was driving extremely recklessly.
And on a Friday afternoon, traffic is already a nightmare in Dallas, but on Getaway Friday, the interstates are thick.
Yeah, and a Texas OU weekend to boot.
Yes. So my Fort Worth police source told me that she was suspect, Steve, Heather, in passing other bad checks in time past. And so they were after her. Someone from the bank called police, and she tried to pass that bad check. The officer showed up, and the chase was on.
And so, Sean, you have to wonder what else is in her background, because the way that she was driving and putting so many other people at risk, the officers knew that, but they wanted to get her in the back of that vehicle.
Well, yes. And once she started to run, once she ran on the traffic stop, remember, passing the bad check was a felony.
Right.
And Tarrant County, Fort Worth, has a different chase policy than Dallas. So once she ran, the chase was on, for sure.
And it's over.
We're staying on. It's okay. I'm trying to get my.
You guys stand up first. This time I guess they might not have to get rolled.
I'm not. We're not. You're not. What's that? Oh no. Sorry. Oh no. Sorry. He's talking to me, and I thought you were talking to me. I gotta get.
About the base. Skybox.
Heads up, Paul. I'm going to text you. I need to send you to San Francisco for a bus crash. I'll send you to the freeway shutdown after.
Nope, not yet. Hold on.
Port, you're going to send text me a location?
Copy that, copy that.
Are you? Can you hang out for a second, or can we speak to you just to describe what happened? You gotta go run and open the store? Okay. Would you just tell me?
They gonna flash only if it's boss left. Look, no.
Just how many shots you heard and what you saw?
You don't want to say.
Yeah.
Alex, you ready?
Sure.
Anytime, Chelsea.
What is this? West of Powell. West of Powell.
No. It's too close to where I be at.
Yeah.
He was ducked down, huh? Where we were in. No, but he wasn't ducking down. He was getting ducked down. She got it though when he pulled out. Yeah. When he pulled the gun out, she got it.
So you can see on the video he's got a gun.
You ducked. I would have been hella scared. That's what I'm saying. She was the only one that didn't duck. Yeah.
Okay.
We ran after. Oh wow.
Yeah, hey you guys. Yeah, we're talking to some of the witnesses here to this shooting, trying to get more information here. They are telling me that dozens of shots were fired, as many as 50 shots fired here. We'll take you right to the scene. We're off the freeway on the east side of Interstate 80, and you can see all the police activity right there in the middle of the westbound lanes. I was just speaking with some folks who were here when the shooting took place. They were telling me that what they saw happen is that the man who was inside that black SUV got out of the SUV holding a weapon, holding a gun, and that's when, and shortly thereafter is when police opened fire here. And again, as many as 50, possibly 60 shots were fired, according to witnesses who we were speaking with. And you can see that all the eastbound lanes are still closed. All the westbound lanes remain closed for this investigation. Obviously, from our vantage point, we're not able to speak with police and try to get any more information, but it's still an unfolding situation there. We understand that this all started with a police pursuit involving the Richmond Police Department. We don't know exactly why they were pursuing the person inside of that black SUV, but there was some sort of a pursuit. It ended in this area. Possibly the SUV was spike stripped, and so it was disabled, and this is where it came to rest. And then you had that standoff that unfolded. And again, according to some people who were here at this scene, they're telling us that the person inside of that SUV got out of the SUV holding a gun. And again, shots were fired here. We don't know that person's condition. Obviously, we're not in a position to be able to get more information from police here, but obviously that's the next thing we're going to be trying to do. We are off of the freeway, so we are in Emeryville here. We're in this shopping center where you have the Ross, Trader Joe's, many other stores in this area on the east side of Interstate 80 in Emeryville, and just providing this live picture here. But again, you can see that both directions of Interstate 80 remain closed because of this police activity, and we're working to get more information on exactly what took place. But again, shots fired a short time ago here, working to find out more information on the condition of whoever may have been shot at here this morning. The brief description I got was that the man got out of the SUV and was clearly holding a gun, and then shortly thereafter, I don't know exactly how long after until the shots were fired. Before he got out of the SUV.
Got out, police shot
Okay.
warning shot.
This woman who was here at the time, your name, please?
Mika.
Mika? You're saying that the police opened fire before?
Warning shots. And then the guy stuck his hands out the window and was like, he's surrendering or whatever. And he rolled the window back up, but the car was parked in the middle of the freeway, and the guy pulled to the side. And then he stuck his hands out again, and then he got out and opened fire, probably 1 or 2 shots, and then the police just let go and shot him up and killed him.
So this man, you certain? Yeah, you're certain about his condition? You believe?
Well, I believe.
He was
he's
badly
dead.
hurt.
Yeah, he's dead.
Let me ask you about the weapon. You're saying he got out of the car. He's holding what, a handgun?
A handgun. Yeah.
Aiming it in the direction of the police officers?
Yeah.
Any conversation? Any exchange?
It was some words or whatever, but I couldn't make out what he was saying. But that's it. And
Did it look like anybody else was inside of his SUV?
It did look like that, but I'm not sure. They had blocked it all off so we couldn't see, but yeah. It looked like someone else was in there, but they didn't take nobody else out. I didn't see it.
How long were they engaged in this standoff situation before the first shots were fired?
For about a good 10 to 20 minutes. Yeah, they was here for a long time.
Giving commands, doing what?
SWAT team came, and then that's when everything started. So yeah, they was giving commands and telling him to get out, and he wouldn't get out, and that's it.
And you're here, and shots are being fired, dozens of shots, as
oh,
I know.
I got down. I saw it, but I got down and ran.
Okay.
I ran.
That's a smart thing to do.
Oh yeah, I ran. So, but I saw it.
You ever witnessed anything like this before?
Not really. Maybe Grand Theft Auto or something.
Not in real life.
Not in real life.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mika, it was?
Mika,
I appreciate you taking a few minutes and telling us what you saw today. Thank you very much for your time. Mika, one of a number of people here in sort of the backside of this shopping center here who witnessed firsthand this unfolding standoff, which ultimately led to a shooting out here involving police. We believe involving the Richmond Police Department, although they did bring in that SWAT team. We don't know if that was the Richmond Police Department SWAT team or not. I don't know if you guys can tell from your vantage point there. It's a little hard for me to tell here from the ground exactly which agencies were involved. But again, witnesses telling us that this standoff went on for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then at some point police fired shots toward that black SUV, and according to witnesses, a man inside of that black SUV stepped out of the black SUV with holding a gun and may have fired shots as well in the direction of police. And we are working to get more information on that person's condition after being shot by police here in the middle of Interstate 80, which remains shut down in both directions.
Okay. The longest part. Hello?
go, I'm seeing Joey's picture. Go get sound. I go, I know, it's not gonna walk by. I go, and I almost said, stop being so damn condescending. Okay, ready? Just, I'll make. Get your vehicle on for it. Okay. Ready? Let me call the station up. We're about to go live right now.
I'm guessing that's the white SUV. We should ask these people who are standing here what they saw.
And make sure ECR rolls on everything. I ain't feeding nothing.
I told them. Those were my calls.
Here we go. Hey, Maureen, this is Will. Can I speak to the web right now, please? The web department? No worries. Now, I'm making sure web's on the same page. We're going to go Facebook Live right now. No reason to do this unless we get something. Jeff is here. I see Jeff.
If you're not KTV, you lose. I don't want to be on it. No, if you ain't KTV, you lose. I don't want to be on it.
That's all right.
I saw the whole thing.
All right.
I was standing right here. Look.
I know. Is that white SUV?
Yeah, what is it?
This one right here?
Just tell her about the Facebook Live right now. So we're about to through TVU.
That's it. So he got shot dead, huh?
Okay.
And you witnessed
Bye.
that. Wow.
Okay, ready?
So the suspect's van is that black SUV.
Well, let me clarify first.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So I did take some video of it. So what happened was
The shots fired?
Well, that's when the cop who was right over there, told us, these people here, to get out of the car, to get behind the van. So as soon as he told us to get up and out, as soon as I got behind the car, bam, shots. That's when he shot. And then
That's fine. That's all you have to say. Ready?
Okay.
You know what? Wait.
If you don't want to talk, that's okay.
No,
I'm not trying to. Okay. God, it's so complicated. You're making it more complicated.
Hold on, let me get a word. Okay, and we're rolling.
Well, Tran here in Emeryville. If you need to go north and southbound on I-80, avoid it at all costs because of a standoff that took place a little bit earlier this morning. You can see both sides have turned into a parking lot. CHP on the other side. There's the suspect's vehicle. It looks like the black SUV. We are hearing that the situation appears to be over, that shots were fired, but you can see they're not allowing traffic to move in either direction, heading into San Francisco or heading in the Sacramento direction. You can see many people out of their cars right now. Motorcyclists just got off their bikes and just sitting on the roadway as well. Talked to some people. They said they've been here for about 90 minutes, and we don't know when this will end. Let's go around and let's see if we can talk to some of the people. This is on Facebook Live, sir. Can I get you to say your name?
Michael Miranda.
Michael, tell us, first of all, how long you've been here?
About an hour.
About an hour. What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, the traffic had stopped, and then we saw about 5 cop cars approaching the black SUV. And as we stopped, they started moving closer and closer and closer. They got out of their cars, and they all had their guns, and that's when they started getting on the bullhorn with the suspect. And it was about maybe 20 minutes, nothing was happening. We were at a dead stop, and then all of a sudden he rolled down his window and he pulled his head out, and he said, "Hey," because they told him to put his hands out and to get out of the car. And he says, "Hey, I don't have a gun." And then he pulled out his hands, and he says, "Get out of the car, get out of the car." He pulled out his hands, and then he put his head back in, rolled up the window, and then they just kept on talking to him. And then the cop in front of me told me, I think this was like about 15 minutes later, told me and a bunch of other people around here to get out of the car and to move behind the car. And as soon as I got out of the car and got behind my truck, that's when they shot.
It appeared to be over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the guns fired as I was right behind the truck, and as soon as the shooting stopped, that's when I put the videotape and I was watching as they were approaching.
Did you hear multiple shots?
Yes, it was like at least like 6 or 7.
Did you hear orders or commands before those shots?
No, I didn't. But they were trying to get him to get out of the car for sure, and they were on the bullhorn, talking to him constantly.
Your thoughts? I mean, we all commute, and that the fact that now you're stuck in traffic with a standoff right across from you.
It's surreal. It's surreal, the fact that it's happening. I mean, you can see if you the camera, it's directly right across. It's up like about 100 feet, 150 feet. And, you hear about these shootings and stuff, and to actually see something like that unfold in front of your eyes is kind of surreal,
And you're okay. I mean, you seem a little rattled.
I mean, it's surreal. It's surreal.
No, there are things that happen that you can't believe this is real life, but it is. Thank you so much, Michael. Let's walk down here. You can see more CHP officers coming to the scene. It looks like a detective there as well. Let's see if I can at least ask a question or two. Let me see if I can walk over a little closer. Hey, Jeff. Excuse me, officers. Let me ask. Let me walk over. While they're talking right now, let's see if we can talk to some of the people. How long, this is for Facebook Live on Channel 4 News. How long have you been stuck here, sir?
Since probably 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock this morning. Did you see everything unfold?
Yeah, I kind of saw it from across the road here. I essentially saw this black SUV stuck for a while. Then it started moving forward. Then the police followed it, followed behind, taking cover. And then at some point there were some type of negotiations going on, and the person inside agreed to step out.
So it appeared like the officers were trying to negotiate with him.
Well, he tried. I didn't hear, but apparently they got him to move forward. So I would assume that there was some type of negotiations where they were able to tell him to move forward. He was moving slowly. So,
did you hear shots?
Yes, I did.
How many shots?
So at first it was one shot followed by another shot, and then there was a volley of shots. So, within the next 2 minutes there was a volley of shots following the first 2 shots.
So a whole bunch of shots and then silence.
Yes.
Did they tell you to get out of your car, to stand behind other vehicles, as they told another man, a couple of cars in front of you?
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
Yeah, they never talked to me.
Did you see the whole thing then? If you stayed in your car, did you see the whole thing?
Yes, I did.
What's going through your mind to see shots fired and things happen?
I never saw anybody get killed, so I was shocked. I didn't know why they shot him. I actually saw the guy trying to get out of the car slowly. I'm not sure if he was actually following their directions closely, or he actually did something to make them believe that they were in danger. But I did see him slowly trying to get out of the car.
So he did try to get out. Can you describe him? Did he seem okay, a little weird, just from what you could see?
I wouldn't say that he was acting in a weird way, given the situation. No, I can't say that he was acting weird at all.
Big guy, small guy, just from your vantage point?
I would say about 200 pounds or so, African-American guy.
200 pounds?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What's your name, sir?
Gary.
Gary what?
Gary Martinovsky.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can see there are people. They're not even bothered sitting in their car. They're getting out. That young lady popped her trunk. She got some water. They're all just talking to each other. A lot of people are confused by exactly what happened. They know that the CHP officers are across the freeway from them. These people obviously were told at one point, you've got to stop, you're not going any further, so it turned into a parking lot for them. Because of their situation, their location here, they were able to get a vantage point, a clear vantage point. You can see there they are on the right side of your screen, and on the left side of your screen, there's that black SUV. It looks like the CHP is no longer circling that SUV. So the negotiations, as the two gentlemen that we spoke to that told us that negotiations were taking place, it looks like they are no longer obviously worried about the negotiations. Don't know when this scene will be cleared. Obviously, there are many witnesses that the CHP that they need to talk to. They also want to take measurements. I can tell you from experience, they have to take measurements, account for every bullet, and that's why they're not giving us a timetable on when this scene will be cleared. A lot of people, not just here, we'll show you. Here's the overpass. This is the overpass from 880 down to I-80. And it's backed up as far as I can see. My camerawoman, Yolia Sevas, and I actually came from the Oakland Hills. We went on 880, got off on the city streets, and we looked up and we saw cars, trucks, food trucks backed up for miles. They just got out and are walking around at this time. And in the center of your screen, you can see those cars are coming from the maze from San Francisco. They are stuck as well. Let's see if we can go around and talk to more people to get their account on exactly what happened to them. A lot of people, they just could not believe, and you heard that gentleman we just spoke to, he couldn't believe what he saw. You see shootings, but let's face it, a lot of it, it's on television and not in real life. And then they saw, excuse me ma'am, real quickly, I'm from Channel 4 News. This is on Quran, our Facebook page. Did you see the events unfold?
A bit. Yeah, I'd probably
Can you describe?
Oh, sure. About 9 o'clock, we were stopped here, and I could see the wall of sort of police cars in the black van. They had their handguns. The police had their handguns out, and then a man came in, had the long gun on the top of the police car, and they were all aiming at the black SUV.
You hear negotiations.
Yeah, I could hear.
What were the police officers, the CHP officers, saying?
I think he said, "Put your hands out." Something, "put your hands out." I don't know if they had his name, but it sounded like a name I didn't recognize. But he was saying, "Put your hands out." And towards the end, he said, "Okay, put your hand out the window just like you did before." And that was just before the shooting.
And you heard the shots?
Oh, yeah.
How many shots did you hear?
Well, I thought I heard one, and then maybe 30 seconds later a second, and then 20, 30 seconds later I heard, I don't know how many that was.
Sorry, it wasn't a flurry. It was pop, pop, pop.
Well, I heard a pop, and then a pop, and then the flurry.
And then the flurry of gunfire. What went through your mind? I mean...
Oh, I was very scared. I texted my boyfriend to tell him I love him, just in case anything were to happen. And we were all kind of ducking down in our cars.
Oh, my goodness. So you actually... You didn't duck before. You weren't told to duck. As soon as you heard the shots, you ducked.
Oh, yeah. An instinct, yeah. I turned the video camera off and hid.
Do you know if shots came out of the car, or it was all from the police side?
I couldn't tell.
So the first shot, you ducked. You didn't wait for the flurries.
Oh, no. No. I've never seen gunfire before, so I was nervous, yeah.
Understandably so. Thank you so much for talking to us. We'll continue to walk around. You can see this gentleman over here. It looks like he got some refreshments. The reason why, there is a city street, that's Ameryville, that you're looking at. There's the hotel. A lot of people are actually hopping off the freeway. It's a little bit of a hop, but they were actually hopping across the freeway. Oh, excuse me, off the freeway down, and that's the gentleman actually who helped me climb, and my camerawoman climb up to the freeway so we could be here. But a lot of people were actually jumping off of the freeway. It's probably maybe about a 3-foot jump or so from the freeway down to a bush area, grassy area, and from there they're walking to some of the nearby stores to get refreshments, to go to the bathroom. You can see just the other, we'll zoom in as far as we possibly can. You can see those are the cars heading from the Sacramento, Pinole, Hercules area, just to give you a little bit of the landscape. Those are cars heading towards San Francisco and the Oakland area. That's considered westbound, and you can see those cars are stuck as well. There's the CHP officer with his lights on. That's a parking lot in that direction. And then obviously here is eastbound I-80, and they're not going anywhere as well. This woman we just spoke to, she said as soon as she heard the first shot, she ducked in her car. We spoke to another man. He said as soon as he got here, he stayed in his car, and then he was told at one point by the CHP officers, get out of your car, get behind another vehicle, and that's when he got behind another vehicle. At that point, that's when he heard shots being fired. The CHP, they have shut down, so they're not releasing this back to the public anytime soon. The investigation, even though it looks like the standoff is technically over as far as the suspect and the CHP officers, now goes the investigation into exactly what happened. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of witnesses, of course, in both directions of I-80, so they need to go around and get their statements as well. Why this all started, why there was a standoff in the first place, we're not sure. Whether or not this car was pulled over for a traffic violation, or if this car was being tailed by the CHP for another possible crime and they recognize the license plates, we're not sure yet. The CHP is not talking to us as they're very busy, of course, with their investigation. We will try to find out exactly what's going on, but in the meantime, if you need to hop on the freeway, I would advise you to do not hop on the freeway. You have to take the city streets through Ameryville, through Oakland, get past this area, go past Berkeley, and then at that point maybe you can reconnect and go about your way. You can see those are the CHP officers on the other side of the freeway. You can see they're talking to some of the people out there as well, so maybe those are witnesses. And there's another car, another police car coming to the scene. So this is far from over. We don't know exactly when this will be released. I see an ambulance coming to the scene here as well. So that ambulance also is having a difficult time trying to maneuver through all of these cars that now has turned into a giant parking lot because of the shooting. You can see detectives in their business suits out here as well. So more than likely, this scene will be turned over to the investigators. It's their job to reconstruct exactly what happened, talk to witnesses, try to find out. There's that black SUV. We don't even know where the suspect is at this point, whether he's still in the car, if he's on the ground. I just cannot see from this vantage point, nor would we show you the body even if we could. But the back, you can see the back window has been lifted, and so it's clearly visible to the CHP to look through the black SUV at this time. We don't know who this man is, his name, but we did talk to that couple of people, and he was vaguely described as about a 200-pound, big African-American man. So that's still part of the investigation as well, and why the shooting even took place, whether or not he cooperated. I'm sure a lot of people out there will pay close attention to see why this man was shot, whether or not it was justified, and I'm sure the CHP will have a news conference as the day and the afternoon progresses into exactly what happened. I can hear in the background some baby crying as well. So unfortunately, a lot of families are also stuck in this traffic. I can hear some crying in the background. So some child is also unfortunately stuck in all of this traffic. Many people not even bothering to stay in their cars anymore. They just got out, they're walking around. And it is a very hot morning. We do expect a mini heat wave of 90 degrees or so, or north of 90 degrees. I only mention that because it's going to make a situation quite uncomfortable, especially if they don't have their cars and the air conditioning running. That could pose a problem as far as kids in the cars, or also maybe even pets. So that could be an issue moving down the road. But right now you can see thousands of cars stuck here. There's that woman that we spoke to. She called her boyfriend. She told her boyfriend she loved him because she wasn't sure what was going to happen, whether or not she would be hit by gunfire as well. So it's a serious situation when you're caught in it. We will try to find out more information from the CHP. They're on the other side of the freeway talking to each other. Investigators are also on the scene. Usually what happens whenever there is a CHP shooting, they cannot ethically investigate themselves. So moving long-term down the road, they will have to have another police agency investigate exactly whether or not